This is a simple, fun video related to visiting old and magnificent plantation homes of the South as my wife and I drove through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia. I quickly go over 6 magnificent homes, 4 really quick, and 2 a bit more in depth. I have links to each home in the description below in case you need to visit a plantation site for more information. My wife and I have been to many plantation homes since at least around 2018, such as Longwood, my favorite so far, super cool place, and Stanton Hall, a unbelievably beautiful home. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where I placed all those old pictures and video clips, so I'm starting only with those plantation homes we have visited just recently. In this video, I will gloss over 4 plantation properties quickly, not because I want to. Many were closed, such as Frogmore, on a Sunday just after we had left Texas. On Monday, we got to Dunleith, but we had no reservation of any type and I was apprehensive about barging in. We got to Melrose and realized we had been there a few years before and remembered too much, so we swept through it quickly. As for plantation homes we were able to enter, there was the Tom Bevill Visitor Center. I include the Tom Bevill Visitor Center, being that it is a replica of Southern plantation homes, in that we completely walked through and enjoyed it. It was very nice. The other was the Pebble Hill home. This huge home was an extraordinary place to visit. I highly recommend it. Great variety in the home, its architecture, the property as a whole. It is really a very enjoyable plantation home to visit. Here is a quick rundown of the cost and hours. Frogmore, have no cost on that, don't know. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 in the summer, 9 to 3 spring and fall. Dunleith, rooms are, well, they're kind of expensive, $135 and up. Everything there is by reservation as far as I can tell. Melrose, $11 maximum, open daily, 8:30 to 5. Oakleigh, $12 maximum, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. Tom Bevill Visitor Center, that's free, and it is open Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. Pebble Hill, $20 max, open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday, 12 to 5. How about a little bit of what you're looking at architecturally speaking? Southern plantation homes were built primarily in the early 1800s. At the time, the most common grand architecture design was the Greek Revival, at least in the South. This style draws from classical Greek temples, square or rectangular shaped, featuring symmetrical, balanced facades, impressive columns, and often really cool pediments. Deep wraparound porches, almost always some type of balcony, and perhaps a widow's walk. The roofs are hip or gable style with an occasional cupulas or cupulas. Those are the small dome-like structures or rectangular structures at the very top of the roof, providing both decorative and functional purposes. Also, with tall ceilings, large windows, which aided in relief from the heat and humidity. Likely a raised foundation which may protect against flooding and help with air circulation. Another term associated with these great homes is antebellum. This simply refers to homes built in the South before the Civil War. I have 3 special notes. While I enjoyed looking at the architecture and the opulence of the plantation homes of the South, I seriously want to point out that some of these homes were enjoyed by people that made their wealth from the toils of slaves and the oppressed. Very tragic. Another special note, during the Civil War, if the homes were not torn down or blown up, they may have been burned down either by the families that owned the homes to spite the Union Army or by the Union Army themselves. And thirdly, to keep up an old home is a huge undertaking, not to mention the huge amount of money it takes to restore and maintain them. I've worked on a few old homes, including our 1899 Barber Victorian. Satisfying to save these homes, but they are a huge undertaking to present and to maintain for the public. So please be very appreciative of at least that. Frogmore Plantation, Ferriday, Louisiana. House, I believe, was built in 1843. The sign out front says 1815 to 1832. The architectural style is Greek Revival. Frogmore Plantation seems to be a really neat place. Just buzzing around it was interesting. It has several structures. The main house, another house off to the side of that, a log home, the steam-powered gin with rare equipment dating to circa 1884, another structure or two here and there, slaves or workers' quarters, a large barn, a commissary, or a general store, and 1810 hand-pegged dog trot overseer's cottage, picnic area, church, and so on and so forth. Basically a whole community packed into a few acres. Frogmore Plantation is a historic, privately owned cotton plantation complex. Since 1997, Frogmore Plantation has been working the 1,800-acre farm with several tourist attractions. The Frogmore highlights tours and events. For example, you can pick cotton yourself or enjoy Delta-born music. Check out the website because I have barely touched on the wealth of fun you can have there. Dunleith Plantation Home, Natchez, Mississippi, rebuilt after a fire in 1845, completed in 1856, a Greek Revival Antebellum, large columns, fully encircled colonnade of 26 Tuscan columns. The second floor wraparound balcony is awesome. We crossed into Mississippi and got to Natchez. I did a quick drive around the Dunleith Historic Inn property. Beautiful mansion. Lots of wonderful classic oaks to gaze at. Connected to the main house is the courtyard house with more rooms that are for rent, since this huge mansion is actually now an inn. The house is very stately indeed, nicely perched on top of a beautiful hill. There is the main office where you can check in. Down the drive, you'll see the castle, a restaurant and pub. Another small home to rent called the Dairy Barn, which was built in the late 1700s and was literally used as a dairy. This historic place is just great, but I don't see anything about it being a place where you can go on an actual tour. Melrose Plantation, Natchez, Mississippi, built 1848, again, Greek Revival. The Melrose is a fantastic place to visit, amongst the best. My wife and I truly enjoyed it immensely. A giant home with giant trees. The property is extremely well kept. You really need to do the tour of the whole property. We did it and we really enjoyed it. Learned a lot. To walk only the house and the buildings next to the house is easy enough. There is a good amount of walking to be done if you want to snoop around the yard, grove, barn, carriage house, and slave quarters. We spent a full hour just doing a quick remembering hit and run. Add a tour to it and you will be there a couple of hours. I would say the Melrose is definitely one of those places that should be on the top of your list of plantation homes to visit. The Oakleigh Plantation Home, Mobile, Alabama, started in 1833, completed between 1840 and 1845. Greek Revival. To be honest, we went by the Oakleigh because I needed a fun place for my wife to visit since I wanted to go see the battleship Alabama. We got to the Oakleigh early in the morning and just walked around it. Very nice property. It's in the middle of a neighborhood, although a very nice neighborhood. It looked like maybe 1.5 acres. It's one of my favorites in terms of style and appearance, with the curved front stairway, the protruding Greek temple design, and the setback wings, being that it's a T-shaped home. A bit of a different design from the norm. Gas lamps and big beautiful oaks welcome you. The name of the house? Named for the surrounding oaks. Up on the terrace, you get a sense of the view from long ago. You certainly get a great aspect of the yard and trees. There are the classic huge windows, these being a great example of how the windows' bases can be opened as a walkway. The house is well paved all around, making it easy to view the house as well as the adjoining garden. Around back, there was what might have been the outside kitchen converted into army barracks. In case you're curious, the slaves' quarters were located on the left side of the main house. Next door was the Minnie Mitchell Archives building, an interesting home as well with a small garden next to it. A little further down the sidewalk and around the corner is the Cox Deasy house, built in 1850. Then across the street were some nice Victorian 1900s homes. Despite not doing a tour, we enjoyed our little investigation very much. The Tom Bevill Visitor Center, Pickensville, Alabama, completed in 1985. Greek Revival, Antebellum, depicting the period between 1830 and 1860. The Tom Bevill Visitor Center is really neat, a replica plantation home. We had gone to see it and the paddle wheel riverboat next to it. The Visitor Center has all of the best architectural features of a beautiful plantation home. The iconic columns, tall windows, cupola, widow's walk, and more. Around back there was a fountain and sitting area. Again, huge columns and a terrace. A seriously beautiful home. The interior is just as beautiful and classic. A marble checkered floor, chandeliers, sculpted stairway, tall ceilings, large open rooms. The home was designed by taking elements from 3 other mansions, plus noddings to other homes and buildings from around the region. Looking into the office area, lots of critters to gaze upon, other tourism pamphlets, and of course the offices, I suppose, for the whole area. The map on the walls indicate the waterways serviced by the Tom Bevill Lock and Dam, as well as the old U.S. snag boat Montgomery, sitting again to the side of the visitor center that you can also walk around. And it too is very interesting. We traveled upstairs and wandered around. There is information about the U.S. snag boat Montgomery, really neat. I have a whole video about it that I hope you watch. You will see a very well done display pertaining to the wildlife in the area. I personally like this sort of thing. I really enjoy critters and learning a bit about them. There's plenty of good information about the Army Corps of Engineers and those that worked in the area. I would consider them yet another group of unsung heroes. There is a good display explaining how the nearby lock and dam operate. The circling stairway was really a wonderful treat, a little dizzy, absolutely classic. I love it. We took the stairs up to the cupola, sort of fun looking down to the first floor. We went out and walked around this highest point of the home and saw the lock and dam to the left and the snag boat to the right. We headed back down and said our goodbyes to the lady that welcomed us. The Pebble Hill Plantation Home, Thomasville, Georgia. First main house was built circa 1825. That was vaguely replaced, I guess you might say, in 1850, rebuilt after a fire in 1934. The architectural style is Greek Revival, but when it was rebuilt after that fire in 1934, the design altered into neoclassical. So neoclassical is a revival of Greek and Roman. It can look very similar to the Greek revivals. The magnificent Pebble Hill plantation home is more than just the home. It's on 70 acres with other structures and a pool, cemetery, etc., etc. It possesses all the trademarks of a luxurious plantation home. The Greek Revival design, well, neoclassical, is very interesting. I think due to the front having that grand inward cut cathedral style entry and having the second floor balcony spliced so that you're allowed to have this vaulted entry and allowing for an overlook of that front entry. An eye-catching design. The back seems quite different, yet very complementary. It's from the back that you see more easily how the home is the neoclassical style. Stunning. We drove the oak-lined driveway to the parking lot. To our right was first seen the horse stables built in 1928. And yes, there were a few horses. I'll get to that later. We went straight to the visitor center, which is at the center of the stables, and got our tour tickets. A nice lady picked us up in a golf cart and drove us to the home. At this leftmost wing, when you're facing the front of the house, we entered the foyer and we were introduced to the primary owner. Looking down the long hallway, you realize there will be several rooms on this wing of the home. Bedrooms, bathrooms, a huge dining room. Just look at this room. The wonderful kitchen, still appearing as it did many moons ago. A sort of hallway library, which is conveniently connected to a sitting room. And then the front center main entrance, complete with a secret door. A circular staircase leads up to the art museum on the second floor, of which no pictures are allowed, so be very careful. Passing to the east wing of the home, moving along the angle of the hallway, has similar yet different and very unique rooms, such as a gardening room where plants could be brought in and prepared for display, and another sitting room. We continued along the long picture window hallway, moving past the primary portion of the house, reaching several more rooms that were even more spectacular. Well, aside from another bedroom and bathroom here and there. There is a trophy and collectible artifacts room that you will enjoy gazing on for a good bit, and the most grand sitting rooms of them all. This room took quite a while to take in. Hand-painted wall murals, lavish furnishings, and the openness. The room was relaxing and a joyful place to be. Once you have been amazed by the home itself, you can go outside and just get lost. You will see huge trees, a vine tunnel, that was really neat, a small water pond at the garden. There's a schoolhouse from 1901, a family cemetery. We walked through that. It was pretty wild. Swimming pool built in 1921, and of course the horse stables. We walked back to the visitor center at the stables. The stables are in basically a shape of a letter U with the visitor center close to the middle. From there, we went to the right and walked a portion of the stables for curiosity's sake. Glad we did. Lots of horse stalls, just lots of them. A tack room. Finally, at the end of the walk, there was a big room, the carriage room, filled with various buggies. Just looking around in this room And some of the famous people that had been on some of these buggies, well, you will see that there were famous people that visited this home as well. The Pebble Hill plantation has so much to offer. You have got to put on your walking shoes and really be prepared to spend a good amount of time there. You will thoroughly enjoy it. The architecture, the art, just all the cool features of the complex. You will seriously enjoy it. It is yet another of the great and unique plantation homes in the South. I really thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have gleaned something out of it in terms of your planning to visit any of these 6 wonderful plantations. Frogmore, Dunleith, Melrose, Oakleigh, Tom Bevill, Pebble Hill, all magnificent in their own unique ways, just as many of the plantation homes throughout the South. This has been fun. I've enjoyed it. Hope you have too. And with that, please relax. Take it easy. Be a motoring fanatic and enjoy your road odyssey. And I will see you later. Bye.